Hey everybody, welcome to episode 195 of Is This Thing Working? Here we are, Tuesday, August the 27th, 2024. How are you today, Denise?
Guess what I am today?
You're awesome.
And I'm fired up.
Boy, I am too.
I am awesome and I'm fired up, folks. We have a problem in America with our media and with everything that's going on right now, coming out like you're so surprised. You know, I am
about
just
the Zuckerburg news.
Yeah,
it's pissing me off, is what it's doing, because, like you said, we've known about this for 3 years.
Yeah, what's up with this? But we're going to talk about this today. We don't want to get all in the weeds right now because then the show will go off the rails because that's what we're good at doing, is going off the rails. But we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about President Trump yesterday and how presidential he looked at Arlington Cemetery yesterday.
And since we are going... We do good to bring all our content together for you. We do good to get our research done. We do good to bring you the best information and the best perspective that we can bring you. Today, a lot of it is straight from our heart because we're seeing things that we don't like, and we're seeing things that are just, for a lack of a better term, pure bullshit. And let's get rolling.
Let's do it. Let's pay a little bills and listen to Cornbread Hip for us. Thank you. We appreciate your patience.
We would like to welcome our new sponsor to Is This Thing Working? So help us welcome Cornbread Hemp. Their mission is to draw on Kentucky's 250-year legacy of growing hemp, as well as the state's unique climate and soil, to manufacture the highest quality cannabis products available in America. They proudly offer full-spectrum, USDA organic CBD products with up to 2 milligrams of THC per serving. Their plants are grown in what's known as the Bluegrass Basin, which produces the highest quality hemp alongside the best bourbon and fastest racehorses. Cornbread Hemp is one of the very few, if not only, CBD brands in America who exclusively use the hemp flower to create their CBD extract, called Flower Only CBD, and they want the world to know.
Please check out Cornbread Hemp by going to cornbreadhemp.com right now for a 30% off your initial purchase of any products on the website. Again, go to cornbreadhemp.com and use promo code ITTW for this special offer. Remember, you get 30% off, promo code ITTW.
And hey, we got off on a little rant with our opinions and our assertions. And if you agree with our opinions and our assertions, man, share our show. Tell your friends.
Also, stomp that like button and please follow or subscribe wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working? And our podcast is available for download on all platforms like Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And make sure to download that Rumble app. We need you to download that Rumble app so you can follow the show. And you will receive instant notifications when we go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome to the show, everyone. Now that we got all of the promos out of the way, let's get into the meat of this. Steve Bannon needs to be freed immediately. It's over. This Biden-Harris administration needs to let everybody go. They need to free Steve Bannon. He's been in prison now for 56 days as a political prisoner of the Biden and Harris administration.
With the same charge that Merrick Garland should be sitting in jail over.
Yes,
the
who
exact
come
same
out
charge.
And threatened us yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's what we played. We played a video yesterday of Merrick Garland. Oh my gosh. But as we try to get him freed, every single day we ask you, what is your task and purpose? So don't forget that we are here to inform you and to help you become engaged. And we also have a video that we want to play for you of Steve Bannon talking about the issues that we're going to talk about today. Mark Zuckerberg and his all of a sudden Jesus moment.
I want to show you that now it's all coming together, and we're going to have a lot of kind of special presentations of this. That was the opening was I think the first day that we brought this up when we could, with the New York Post coming public on it. Dan Abrams still doesn't understand so many lies and misrepresentations of how they're still spinning this, okay? And it was very difficult to validate this. That's why we went to news organizations that we knew had the capability and the capacity to do this, particularly the New York Post, which has a very smart set of lawyers and also ability to technically understand, and the work that they did to validate this. There was no doubt. The reason I came on the show, we hammered it, I think that was from early October all the way through, is that we knew we had the receipts. Rudy Giuliani, Bernie Kerik, one of my lawyers, the great Bob Costello, an old school, just a hammer, and others, right? We knew what we had. And we knew that the mainstream media didn't want to talk about it. But Abrams sitting there.
There you go. We knew what we had. We had the receipts, and the media didn't want to talk about it. What is it that the media doesn't want to talk about or didn't want to talk about it back then? The censorship and the throttling of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
And the rigging
of the
election in 2020, that they came out every single day in 2020 after this election and asked every single conservative that went on all these news shows, do you believe President Joe Biden won? I mean, can you believe this? We sat and watched it. It was disgusting. Every bit of it was disgusting when we knew for a fact that Mark Zuckerberg and YouTube and everybody else out there, X, which was Twitter at the time, just shut everybody down. They deleted people's accounts with no prior knowledge, no warning, no anything. Just deleted them. You know, why do you think he comes out now?
Yeah.
Why do you think he comes out now?
I get it. Why now? Patrick Bet-David's got three little theories here that he believes it is. He says this in a tweet. He said that Mark Zuckerberg just admitted to working with the Biden-Harris administration to censor Americans. He's either admitted to this because, one, he's being honorable, two, he's done with the Democrat Party, or three, he's getting ahead of a whistleblower. PBD said, hey, either way, this is a very hard letter to write. I don't think that it was a very hard letter to write.
It looks to me like the same letter that he's written before.
Exactly.
It's like a form letter or something. I mean, because we know already he's come out. He came out on Rogan and he talked about the FBI was involved. Well, if the FBI was involved, then the Biden and Harris administration was involved.
Yes.
So he's already told us this. He told us this about the laptop.
And I think it was Mike Baker that was on Rogan too. I'm thinking Mike Baker. But I believe it was him that told Rogan that at the time that he was at a Facebook headquarters, that he seen Robert Mueller there, that he knows they had FBI offices in the damn place. We've known that for a couple of years or longer. You know, like you said, to your point, we understand all these things. Why come out now, man?
Well, and there's something that we have been remiss in not reporting that much of, but Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton did sue Zuckerberg for millions of dollars and won. So I believe, this is just my theory, that a lot of discovery happened in that lawsuit that has not come out yet. That is now public knowledge. Yep. And we all need to get up on our booties and go find out what it is. And I'm talking about myself too, because I remember yesterday seeing Ken Paxton retweet this and go, yeah, this is part and parcel to me.
Yeah.
So we need to really think about the signal here. And that's where it's at. It has to do with that lawsuit that Ken Paxton did, because he can't censor Texans no more. We can sue him for censoring Texans now. And this is going to get big. And if every state would go in and do exactly what Ken Paxton did, then we wouldn't have to deal with this anymore. We would not have to deal with censorship. And one of the things that I really wanted to point out is, okay, Sarah Fields, I follow her on X, and she's a reporter for Publius.
Yeah.
Anyway, but she says this about Mark Zuckerberg. She says, never forget what Mark Zuckerberg did. 2 days after January 6, 2021, I drove to a reopened Texas rally at the Texas Capitol. Just before I left, I posted a video to Facebook and invited anyone who wanted to join and stated that I had been invited to sing the national anthem. My post caught a lot of attention and went viral. A few hours after the video was posted, my account was removed permanently with no option to appeal. You might say, who cares? She said, my account was 15 years old. I had 15 years of photos and videos. This included photos of my children from the time they were born. This included photos of my time in the military, including photos with buddies who gave their lives for their country. I requested to have at least download my photos and videos. I was denied. I sent another request directly to internal higher up. I was denied again. In early 2021, I did not quite understand what was happening to my country. So I was naive to believe that my memories were safe on Facebook. Prior to 2020, I was not involved politically, and I thought I lived in a free country where my rights to free speech were protected. And I have since learned I was wrong. This happened to millions of people.
Yes.
Across the board.
Yes.
Because they stood up
against the establishment, against the government. What we talked about yesterday, this isn't a DNR issue anymore, people. This is us. This is us. We, the people, have got to come together and stand up and go, that ain't happening, guys, anymore. You have no power unless we tell you you have power.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And this gets us fired up because we have been talking about this over and over and over again. And all of a sudden, the mainstream pundits, that's all they want to talk about today. Fox News even told us to our face, this is going to be on every news station today. Why? Why is this on this news station? Why isn't this beautiful, beautiful message of President Trump yesterday at Arlington National Cemetery, laying wreaths in honor of those who were killed during the Abbey Gate bombing? In Trump, he was also with Marine Corporal Kelsey Lenhart, who was paralyzed during the bombing, and where the 13 U.S. service members died at Abbey Gate. So why aren't we discussing this instead of the same old bullshit
the rehash
over and over and over again that we know? Mark Zuckerberg has not changed his ways.
Because this is the things they want you to forget. These are the things they want a memory hole away from you. These are the things they don't want you to talk about. You want to know something else they don't want you to talk about? January 6th. And this is why I said today's show is coming more from the heart, man, because what we have seen go on in the last 4 years in our face, it was probably going on long before that, but now it's in your face. The evil's been shown to you. They're showing themselves to you today. And I seen this last night, and I read this entire tweet, and it's real long, and it's from Tim Hale. Tim was a J6 prisoner also. He spent 1,064 days in jail.
It's heartbreaking.
For being an American and standing up. And so it's a really, really long post, but I wanted to focus on just 3 paragraphs in this thing here. I want you to hear what this man has to say. This is where our country's at, man. And I say that because those people there's still people being held in jail. They're still going out and arresting people for what we know is a J6. It was a sham. What we know about it is a sham.
And we talked about yesterday how Merrick Garland is still threatening people with the January 6th if you vote the wrong way or you think the wrong way.
If you go against the transfer of power, a peaceful transfer of power, if you go against that, let me tell you something. This is why all of this that's going on, I had to bring this out because this is the biggest truth that I've seen. And considering the way that the news media cycle is trying to push things right now in the direction they're trying to push it, and get this stuff out of the news. Pisses me off. Tim Hale said when J6 was fresh on the minds of Americans and manufactured narratives were still largely unquestioned by both Democrats and Republicans, nobody cared if those of us rotting in the D.C. gulag were alive or dead. A lot may have changed over 3 years. That's the truth. He goes on to say it wasn't until November of 21 that Representative Gohmert and MTG were thankfully allowed to see our living conditions in the gulag. All the other elected representatives abandoned us, like my worthless congressman, Chris Smith, who ditched me and junked an investigation into USERRA violations against veterans I pioneered as a labor rep. Congressman Smith even voted for Nancy Pelosi's sham J6 committee in May of 2021. Political pundits, influencers, and talking heads from both parties condemned us and couldn't be bothered to weigh the pros and the cons of denying American citizens due process. Ben Shapiro, as late as August of 2021, notably said J6 defendants will end up rotting in prison, as they should.
And one of the main reasons I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro, because I was there for a little bit, and I have not listened to him since he said this. I will never listen to him again. I will not listen to any of his commentary, his advice, his analysis on anything, because he got it wrong. He got it wrong about everything, and he went along. He went along just to get along, and that is not who we are.
That's right. Tim goes on to say that while some of the right would eventually stick their necks out to talk about J6 when it was safe, it often boiled down to whataboutism, comparisons to Antifa and BLM, which was rubbing salt in the wounds. But it often boiled down to the whataboutism comparisons to deflect the leftist narratives rather than to debunk them. There was no fight in anyone. Nobody cared. We were a political liability, an aberration from orthodox narratives, and a universe away from the comfort of those unaffected by solitary confinement. He said we didn't matter. We were insurrectionists. We were domestic terrorists. We were white trash. We were far-right militias. We were religious nuts. We were neo-Nazis. We were QAnon cultists. We were conspiracy theorists. We were white supremacists. We were cop killers. We deserved to rot in 7-foot cells alone. We deserved to be tortured, and worse, we deserved to burn in hell, right? That's what they said. That's what they done.
That's exactly what they did to them.
My point in this is, when the shit hit the fan back then on J6, the government didn't help the people at all. The government took and turned their back on our people. The government done everything they could to shut us up. They did everything they could to censor us. They did everything they could to deny medicines to people during the COVID pandemic that could have saved their lives.
And they forced vaccinations on every one of these January 6 people. And if they didn't want them or didn't want to take them, then they were sent, or they spent weeks and months into solitary confinement because they did not want to take a vaccine that wasn't a vaccine.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I believe the health ramifications of that are starting to show itself too, even 3 years down the road, from people that have taken this and have been injured by these vaccines, people that have lost their lives because of this vaccine. And you can't say that they didn't. You know, that's the crazy thing. The thing is, all of these people, Dr. Fauci, Birx, Joe Biden, Mark Zuckerberg,
Kamala Harris,
all of you people, man, you hid behind the wall of the government. You hid behind the power of the government, all because you wanted to retain and maintain your control over us. You didn't give not one shit about none of us. Not one of us. Steve Bannon asks every day, what's your task and your purpose, man? If today is, you don't think you have a task and a purpose today, pick up your phone and call your congressman. Pick up your phone and call your senators and your representatives and tell them that the J6 committee was a sham committee. It had no authority. It served no purpose. And all it done was landed more innocent people in jail, all because you people wanted to sit back and maintain your damn power.
Yeah, while the media sits around and acts like we're surprised. We're surprised about all this stuff. And they continue. The government gives them the words to say. They call them insurrection, the domestic terrorist, and white trash. We've heard that for 3.5 years now. Now, me and James, we have small accounts. We're not a big influencer because we're not allowed to do that because we fight on the side of the people that need that need you. That needs your help. And we continue to fight. I have fought family members about the January 6th people. I have, been on that side, and we don't get heard because no one wants to hear the truth. And the truth is the government turned on the American people, and no media, no influencers, nobody will stand up and allow our voices out there. So we need your help. We need you to spread the word. We need you to share and follow and talk about this. The one person that does do this, and I have her book, and that's Julie Kelly, and she is on X, and she has been 100% on their side at every court hearing, at every court case, at everything that they've done. She has taken money out of her pocket and given to these people, and they are trying to destroy her on X. So follow her also, and because that's who he is really, in essence, talking about before the end of his speech here that he does, his open letter. Please, folks, these people have been left to their own devices. There's another fellow, and I'm so sorry that I don't remember your name. He is homeless, living under a bridge. His wife threw him out. Their families, these people have lost businesses, families, whole cities won't let them stay. I mean, why? Why are we allowing this in America? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking every day to see what's going on and how we try to get the message out, and we get algorithmed out because we're not, on the side of calling them an insurrectionist when they're not. Exactly.
And that's another point I wanted to bring up, I guess, because this is a rant session today. This is basically all that this is. The bigger accounts that are on there, if you don't help support the smaller accounts, and all that the smaller accounts ever get to do is see your influencer name out there or your other big account influencer name out there, you know what you are? Your narrative.
Yeah, and you're part of the problem.
You're part of the problem. If you're out today and you're promoting the Mark Zuckerberg story and talking about it and asking all these stupid questions that we've known now for 3 years, you're part of the problem. You are. I'll say it.
You're part of the problem. And we have a lot of problems here in America. We have problems here in Texas, in every state in America, with this wide open border and things that we've been trying to talk to you about, or have been talking about for a year now, about the NGOs and how they're signing up illegals. And then Abbott comes out yesterday, our wonderful governor. Hey, he is pretty good. But I just feel that him coming out yesterday and telling us that he took 1.1 million illegals or illegal registrants off of our rolls, and only 6,500 of them were illegal migrants. And tell me, folks, do you believe that?
What? There again, what's the timing of all this? It's optics, man.
Yeah.
That's all that it is. It's optics.
Like, look what we're doing over here.
That's exactly correct.
Look what we're doing over here.
Yeah, you're right. Because that's where my biggest problem with the stolen election from 20 has been, just like what Tim Hale said about their situation and being in prison, that Congress did nothing to help them. Our elections, we know, because it was in your face, rigged at 3 a.m., you put boards up on the doors and kicked people out of the buildings. You've done all of these things. You stole this damn election, and Congress did nothing.
No, not even one committee.
No.
Nothing. And no one has been arrested. He takes off over 6,500 non-citizens, over 6,000 voters who have a felony conviction, over 457,000 deceased people, over 463,000 voters on the suspense list. Where are the arrests? This is illegal. This is an illegal act. And no one has been arrested. No one has been arrested for 2020, for 2022. I see it happening now. Listen to what's going on in Detroit. Did you hear what's going on there? How many poll workers do they have there? Like over 2,000?
Yeah, it was like a 7-to-1 ratio.
In Detroit. And they're still going to steal this election. And guess what you're doing? Nothing. You're doing nothing about it.
Yeah, you're talking about the fact that they hired more Democrat poll workers than they hired Republicans, and the law stated that there had to be an equal amount.
Mm-hmm.
And you just ignored it.
Yeah, you're letting it go through. So we see it going on now still. What are you going to do about it?
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. We couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.